Deep in the heart of Africa, where ancient wisdom meets modern science, lies a pharmaceutical treasure trove that has been healing humanity for over 4,000 years. But what they don't tell you about African herbs isn't just their remarkable healing power. It's the untold story of how these botanical medicines shaped civilizations, survived colonization, and continue to revolutionize modern healthcare in ways you've never imagined. Here's what no one tells you. African traditional medicine predates written history, while Europe was still emerging from the Dark Ages. African healers had already cataloged over 3,000 medicinal plants, created sophisticated treatment protocols, and established healing centers that rivaled any modern hospital. The ancient Egyptians didn't just build pyramids. They built the world's first medical schools, where priests and physicians studied the healing properties of plants like frankincense, myrrh, and aloe. These weren't just remedies. They were the foundation of medicine itself. But here's the shocking truth. During the colonial period, much of this knowledge was deliberately suppressed. Colonial powers banned traditional healing practices, burned medicinal gardens, and criminalized the very healers who held centuries of botanical wisdom. What survived did so in secret, passed down through whispered conversations and hidden ceremonies. Today, many companies spend billions trying to synthesize what African plants have been providing naturally for millennia. Here's what they don't advertise. Over 120 active compounds used in modern medicine come directly from African plants. That malaria medication in your medicine cabinet? It likely traces back to the cinchona tree and traditional African fever remedies. The heart medications saving lives worldwide? Many derive from digitalis compounds, first identified in African traditional medicine. But here's the kicker. Less than 10% of Africa's medicinal plants have been scientifically studied. We're sitting on a gold mine of potential cures for cancer, Alzheimer's, and countless other diseases, and most of the world doesn't even know it exists. Take the African potato, for instance. Not a potato at all, but a powerful immune-boosting plant that's showing incredible promise in HIV research. Or consider the devil's claw, a Kalahari dessert plant that's proving more effective than many scientifically made anti-inflammatories, with virtually no side effects. Africa produces the raw materials, but rarely sees the profits. Companies patent African plant compounds, then sell them back to African countries at premium prices. It's botanical colonialism in the 21st century. Meanwhile, traditional healers, the original researchers, and developers receive nothing. These are people who spent lifetimes perfecting treatments, understanding plant interactions, and developing dosage protocols that modern science is only beginning to appreciate. The global herbal medicine market is worth over $130 billion annually. Africa, with 25% of the world's plant species and the oldest healing traditions, captures less than 1% of that market. The math doesn't add up, and neither does the justice. But here's what environmental groups won't tell you. Many African medicinal plants are disappearing faster than we can study them. Climate change, deforestation, and overharvesting are creating a botanical extinction crisis. The pepperbark tree, used for centuries to treat malaria, is now critically endangered. The African cherry, a powerful prostate treatment, faces similar threats. We're watching potential cures vanish from the earth while debates rage about intellectual property rights. Yet there's hope in an unexpected place. Traditional healing practices were always sustainable. African healers understood that you never harvest more than a third of any plant population. They knew which seasons to gather, which parts to use, and how to encourage regeneration. This wasn't just medicine. It was conservation science. Modern permaculture and sustainable agriculture are finally catching up to what African traditional medicine always knew. You can't heal people on a sick planet. Here is the cultural truth they don't want you to understand. African traditional medicine was never just about individual healing. It was about community health, spiritual wellness, and maintaining harmony between humans and nature. Western medicine treats symptoms. African traditional medicine treats people, their relationships, environment, and spiritual state. A traditional healer doesn't just prescribe herbs. They might recommend community service, conflict resolution, or environmental restoration as part of the healing process. This holistic approach is now being validated by modern research on social determinants of health. But African healers have been practicing it for thousands of years. They understood that you can't treat diabetes without addressing food security, or depression without examining social isolation. But hear us, what is really revolutionary? Many African healing traditions view illness as a community problem requiring community solutions. Your healing might involve your entire village participating in ceremonies, changing behaviors, or addressing collective trauma. Today, something incredible is happening. Young African scientists, trained in modern research methods but rooted in traditional knowledge, are bridging ancient wisdom with cutting-edge science. Universities across Africa are establishing ethnobotany programs. Traditional healers are collaborating with pharmacologists. Indigenous knowledge is finally being documented, protected, and respected. The results are staggering. New cancer treatments from Madagascar periwinkle. Breakthrough HIV research using traditional immune boosters. Revolutionary approaches to mental health combining traditional ceremony with modern therapy. But perhaps most importantly, there is a growing movement to ensure that communities that preserve this knowledge for generations finally benefit from its commercialization. Imagine a future where your neighborhood pharmacy stocks remedies perfected over millennia. Alongside synthetic alternatives, traditional healers work alongside medical doctors in integrated healthcare systems. Sustainable harvesting of medicinal plants provides economic opportunities for rural African communities while advancing global health. This isn't fantasy. It's already happening in places like South Africa, where traditional medicine is being integrated into the national healthcare system. Ghana has established traditional medicine hospitals. Nigeria is training traditional healers in modern hygiene and documentation practices. The story of African herbs isn't just about plants. It's about justice, sustainability, and the future of healthcare. It's about recognizing that indigenous knowledge isn't primitive. It's sophisticated science developed over thousands of years of careful observation and experimentation. The next time you reach for that herbal supplement or plant-based medicine, remember, you're likely benefiting from African innovation, preserved by African communities, and perfected by African healers who never received credit for their contributions to human health. The question isn't whether African traditional medicine works. Modern science is continually proving that it does. The question is whether we'll finally give credit where credit is due, and ensure that the communities that gifted this knowledge to the world benefit from its success. The healing power of Africa runs deeper than anyone tells you. It's time the world knew the whole story.